WHAS 11 Weather First.
Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. A gloomy and somewhat wet of a day right now. We could be expecting some more rain, even some storms in areas across Kentucky. And that live look across downtown and seeing spots of rain and showers over near Prospect at the moment. Let's check in with meteorologist Sam Gabrielli when these showers could be moving through your area. Sam?
That's right, Brooke. It's going to be some intermittent showers, pop-up showers throughout the course of the day today. It's not going to be a washout by any means, but just know that if a couple of thunderstorms develop over your area, you might see a little bit of a brief downpour for a couple of minutes as far as you're concerned here. So here's a live look at our current radar. Notice there's a couple of showers popping up anywhere from the knobs right here north and west of Louisville. We have another little batch right over Prospect as we speak. Here's actually a closer look at the metro. So downtown Louisville currently staying dry, but we're noticing some light rain from Starlight right over Borden, Indiana, over Sellersburg here pretty soon. As we look across Oldham County, this is where there are a couple of rumbles of thunder right over Goshen and towards Prospect. That activity is going to be marching towards LaGrange and Eminence here pretty soon. Up to the north along I-65, we're noticing some more additional showers. Bedford all the way to Seymour and Crothersville, even North Vernon getting in on some of that light rainfall, and down to the south by Campbellsville and Greensburg. Now, Brooke, in a few more minutes, I'm going to time out these showers and rumbles of thunder throughout the course of the afternoon, and I'll let you know how wet the night will be ahead of us and heading into the first half of tomorrow. That full forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Sam, new here at noon. Kentucky lawmakers have approved an oversight task force for JCPS. The House resolution creates a task force to review districts with more than 75,000 students. Well, you know, JCPS is the only district in the state that meets that qualification. It's important to note this would not split up the district. That task force would be made up of lawmakers, someone from the state auditor's office, the Louisville mayor's office, and appointed members who live in Louisville. Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio spoke in front of lawmakers today, both frustrated and upset over this decision.
And so, once again, all I'm asking is that we focus on the facts and, more than anything, treat us just like your districts, every other district in the state right now. And if this is truly about student outcomes, then put in that bill that any district below a certain level of proficiency that is similar to JCPS will face the same investigation, task force, commission to find out about outcomes.
The next step is a vote in front of the full House committee. We'll keep you posted. The Nelson County School Board just ousted its superintendent. More than 100 people showed up in support of Wes Bradley during last night's special session. Our Alex Dieter and photojournalist Eddie Hill were also there.
An angry room full of parents, educators, students, ushered out by law enforcement. A crowd against the Nelson County Board of Education's decision to remove Superintendent Wes Bradley from his position during a special meeting. Tracy Bowling, the only no vote. The board went into executive session for over an hour, but the room stayed full and vocal.
Wesley Adam Bradley, the current superintendent of the Nelson County School District, be removed for cause by roll call vote, and that his current contract with the Board of Education be terminated.
Board member Amanda Deaton listed 6 reasons for Bradley's removal, including failure of leadership and engaging in conduct that's resulted in a majority of the board losing trust in him.
Of engaging in conduct that has created and promoted division and dissension within the district. Working relationships have been severely and irreparably damaged.
Bradley remained quiet. He became controversial with the board during discussions of their plan to merge the 2 high schools. It made him popular with parents and students. After the vote, he shared his hopes for Nelson County moving forward.
Firstly, I just want to share gratitude with all the educators across Nelson County schools. Really proud of the work that continues in our schools, and we also, over the next month, it's important that this doesn't become a distraction from student learning. I think the key piece in all this is none of this should take away from our students. At the end of the day, we're working in the best interest of students, and we'll continue to do that no matter what the process entails.
Jessica Hogue with NC Forward said she and the rest of the group will continue to seek transparency from the board and keep the focus on the students.
We do not agree with the 4 board members that have made this decision. We also do not feel that this will stand.
The board members left quickly and did not give any comments. In Nelson County, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Now for that, request for Bradley's removal will be sent to the Commissioner of Kentucky Department of Education for their approval. If that removal is approved, the board will appoint an interim superintendent. Bradley is the only employee hired by the district's school board. Also new here at noon, in a move to address housing discrimination concerns, Governor Andy Beshear just vetoed House Bill 18. He signed that veto just this morning at Louisville's Beecher Terrace Apartments. The bill had sparked controversy over its impact on local ordinances that prevent discrimination based on a tenant's source of income. These local ordinances stop landlords from refusing to lease or rent properties to people solely because they rely on federal housing assistance. Louisville passed its version in late 2020. Governor Beshear vetoed House Bill 18 during his visit in Louisville today. He said it would impact our most vulnerable communities, from those with disabilities, our senior citizens, and homeless veterans.
We should never make it harder for someone to obtain a roof over their head, a safe place to call home, and that's exactly what this bill tries to do. This bill is just wrong, and it's mean. And today, I'm going to veto it.
Now, Republican lawmakers, on the other hand, say the bill protects landlords' property rights. Republicans have dominant control of the state legislature right now and hold the power to override his veto. If that happens, House Bill 18 would become law. Today, the Coalition for the Homeless updated the community about its push to end homelessness in Louisville. This year, it's focusing on families with nowhere to sleep, but in their cars and other unsafe areas. The coalition called on Metro government to include the following priorities: to fund and create affordable housing for families at lowest incomes, a right to shelter for families, to fund existing services at higher levels, and fund eviction prevention programs to keep families in their homes. The coalition also included policy recommendations such as reducing red tape to open new shelters and eliminating camp clearings when shelters are full. Well, Jeffersonville police say a mother and her 3 young children reported missing last night have been found safe in Louisville. Police said 34-year-old Kayla Martin left her house with her kids on Birchwood Drive and headed toward Highland Dog Park just down the road. Police say she made contact with family this morning, saying she is getting the resources she needs at this time. Overnight, we learned 5 people died in a small plane crash on Interstate 40 over in Nashville. According to authorities, the plane reported engine failure before it crashed shortly before 8 p.m. That plane was flying from north to south when it crashed in a grassy median along the interstate. Police said the FAA is investigating, and the NTSB is expected to arrive later this afternoon. The National Transportation Safety Board has revised its report about what caused a 2018 plane crash that killed the Louisville City FC co-founder. Wayne Estopanol, his company VP Sandra Johnson, and 32-year-old pilot Andrew Davis all died in that crash just seconds after taking off from the Clark Regional Airport. The NTSB initially said a failed winglet on that Cessna jet caused the crash. Winglets help control the plane's aerodynamics. But in a revised report this week, the agency now lists the probable cause as the pilot's inability to regain control after the plane began to roll for unknown reasons. Police say a man died 2 days after he was shot in the Bon Air neighborhood. That shooting was one of 6 across the city. Louisville Metro Police investigated over the weekend. 5 people killed and all 4 injured. One man died inside a Bardstown Road bar. City leaders now proposing policy changes. On Monday, authorities sent a request to the state to temporarily strip Cafe 360 of its alcohol license while that investigation moves forward. Mayor Craig Greenberg said he'd endorse a policy that would allow Metro Alcohol Beverage Control the ability to suspend a license if there's a threat to public safety. The amendment would also guarantee a suspension hearing within 3 days. Metro Councilman Rick Blackwell is sponsoring this proposal.
We need to make sure that we have every available resource in our professionals' hands to be able to deal with those threats.
And that proposal will be discussed at a Metro Council committee tomorrow. Meanwhile, Cafe 360's owner says the bar will add security to its staff and plans to reopen today. Metro government has already made moves to give the city's ABC more independence and power. Back in December, Mayor Greenberg reported Metro ABC would move out from under codes and regulations to become its own agency. And within the last year, officers made efforts to discipline late-night bars and restaurants, causing quite the problem. That included a zero-tolerance policy for bar noise violations in the city. Previously, ABC officers would issue warnings to businesses, but now they have the power to immediately issue a $2,500 fine for the first offense. People do have to call and report the high noise levels before fines can be issued, and ABC assured business owners that if it responds to a complaint and does not find evidence of a problem, you will not be issued a fine.
Inspired I am, and how delighted I am to be a part of this marvelous demonstration for freedom and justice.
Today marks 60 years since Martin Luther King Jr. joined 10,000 people for the march on Frankfurt. This WHAS TV news coverage from our film archives shows King and a large crowd showing up at the state's capitol to march for justice. And today, state leaders joined people who attended that original march for a reenactment walking up the Capitol Avenue. A program on the Capitol steps started just about 9 or 10 minutes ago.